Welcome to another capsule of content by Exploratec UDD. My name is Ricardo, and today we will be learning augmented reality. Probably the most well-known example of augmented reality is Pokemon Go, in which you can point your cell phone at some place around you and Pokemon will appear and you can interact with them. And some other notable examples are this IKEA app, in which you can try out new furniture in your home before buying it. So the thing is, in augmented reality, you can place information on top of the real world. This has a lot of other uses, such as in science and medicine, in industry to show instructions to use machines, for example, and even a lot in marketing. So we will be learning an app which is called Artivive, and the good things about it is that it has a web editor so that you can create your own content online, and accounts are free to use with a certain limit of works that you can create, which is up to 5. And the results are pretty fast and are loaded into the app almost instantly. So you log into this web editor, you create your content, you download the app, and you're ready to start watching your creations. So this is the Artivive page. In here, you will find the software that I told you about to create augmented reality. So first thing you want to do is to register. You want to register your account. You need to provide your email, your name, and a company or portfolio website. The portfolio website you can leave with just a dot if you don't have a portfolio. Then you have to confirm the captcha and create the account. It might take a while for them to accept your account, so try to do this now and then continue watching the video. So once you've created your account, you can log into it. And when logging in, you will start at this page. In this page, there are a couple important things. These navigation buttons allow you to return to your home. This is your home. This is to create an artwork, and some other regular page options like changing your profile, getting help, or logging out. As I told you, you can create your artwork here, or you can also create your artwork here. You need to provide the name for your artwork. We're going to use Serial, and you can press Add Artwork. I named it Serial because we're going to be doing an example today with a serial box. We will be adding images to the serial box, and we will also be adding video to the serial box. I pre-downloaded all this, but I will show you how to download videos and how to use them in Artivive so that they don't have the green background. So, serial, right? Add artwork. And when you add your artwork, you will be taken to this page. This page is where you start working. So there are these other new options, right? Basic and 3D Pro. 3D Pro allows us to put up to 5 images. You can see here, and up to 3 extra videos to our image, the image we're going to scan. So how it works is you place the image to be scanned and then the rest of the content, and it's ready to be seen on your app. And the basic mode, what it does is it just loads a video on top of the image. So it won't have many 3D properties, but it will just be a video that will play on top of your image. It is still useful if you want to, say, make an animated poster that people can scan on the streets, or load a quick video over publicity or something. but the 3D Pro tab is the one in which we will get the most out of this software and out of our augmented reality. So let's get to it. First of all, we want to drop here the picture that is to be recognized. So the picture that will for example, we will print, and the picture that people have to aim their cell phones. The picture that the people have to aim their cell phones at is the one we're going to drop here. So you can press select file and it will display this selector to search for the file on your computer, or you can just drag the picture from your computer as well. And it will be loaded, as you can see here, and it will also appear here. This is our workplace. So we will be working here with the images and videos that we want to add to our visualization. So this picture here indicates where the real picture would be. So if you printed the picture, you can imagine this is the picture actually pasted in onto a wall or something. So you must think of it as the real picture. Any other content that we load on the right should relate to this picture as we want it to relate in the real world. So if we want it to be, say, on on space, right, on three-dimensional space over the other picture, we must move it here like we want it. So some controls. On the right side, you have these buttons to add images and add videos. What these buttons does is that it adds another layer, and layers are all saved here on the right. So you can see I can keep adding stuff, and each layer has its own controls. So um, it has a gizmo to auto scale. We're going to be checking that later when we have an image, and it scales the layer to the size of the original layer of the image to be recognized. It has a control to delete the layer, and it has a control to minimize and maximize the layer so that it's easier for you to work with multiple files. And inside the layer, you can, as well as with the image to be recognized, you can select your file or you can drag a video into here, and you have the position, rotation, and scale of the image. So when we add our first image, we will be working with these three different values, which each has three different values of its own. Those values are the axes. So you have the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. That means you can move your object freely in three-dimensional space. You can also rotate it and change its size. There are two options for transparency and fading for videos, which we will be checking on later when we bring our video here. We will first check working with images, with which shares the same but not all of the video options. So it has position, rotation, and scale, but not transparency nor fading. And also, you can modify position, rotation, and scale over here on your workplace. In this workspace, you have these three tools. So these three tools, what they do is they are here to be able to work with position, rotation, and scale, but directly from here by dragging certain gizmos that will appear when we load our image. So with all that being said, we need to go ahead and load an image. I have pre-downloaded this picture, so I'm gonna drag it and drop it, and there you go. You see the image appeared right on top of the, the protein image. So there is two things happening right now. One, you can see the gizmos, these green, blue, and red um, arrows, right? And there you can see them better. And they go on a yellow color when you're over them, which means you can interact with them. And you interact with them by simply clicking them and moving them around. And now, do you see the picture is moving as I move these arrows around? So that's the way that you work with these tools on the workspace. You drag these gizmos. When you click rotate, instead it will some circles will appear, some ellipses, right? And you can also drag any of these ellipses when they get yellow to rotate the image. So we can rotate the image to whatever position we like. And there's also the scale gizmo. So in this case, what we will see appear are these three boxes, and each box also changes the size in that certain axis. So we can make this bigger in every axis or just in two, or that. All three gizmos have the same thing. You can pick the squares that are between the arrows, like this one, and that square will allow us to move in those two axes. So the square between the y and x axis will allow me to move in both two axes. The arrow between y and z will allow me to move in those two axes, and of course the arrow between z and x will allow me to move in those two axes. When we select the rotation tool, we can click the outer circle. See this outer circle? You can click that outer circle to move the image and rotate it in any direction. It's not so intuitive and it's not so easy to use, but if you get used to it, you can. And the size gizmo allows you to pick an invisible cube that is on the center. So you don't see it until you put your mouse there, and then that yellow box appears. And you can then use the yellow box to modify the size in all axes. You can also work here on the right and modify their positions, rotations, or scales by inputting numbers. This allows us to have a more precise work. So we can, for example, put a precise 90 degrees rotation instead of doing it by a hand and not having it be like very exact. We can, of course, use this on the right to input precise numbers. So 0 is what we want. And we can also move the distances with the position gizmo, right? We're going to tell it to go where we want it to go. So we're going to say that it's in the 0, 0, and 30 distance from the image. So it will be 0 on the x and on the y axis, but it's going to be 30 units in the x axis, I mean the z axis. So it's going to be like on top, but not actually touching the other object. So you get this 3D effect. You can navigate through these tools with the Q W and E buttons. So you press W and you have the move tool, the E button to have the rotate, and the R to have the scale tool. So I want to press the W button. I'm gonna put it more far away from the original picture. So you get this 3D effect, right? When you move around the picture, the soccer player moves around also. This is exactly what we will see on the app. So now that we know how to use all the tools in Artivive, we need to work a little bit on the aesthetics of our work. So this picture has a white background, right? So it won't allow us to see the product behind it because it has the white background, right? So it looks like it hasn't been properly cropped. It won't look good. So what we're going to do is that we're going to take this image and we're going to remove its background. So those of you who know how to use image editing software will have it easy on here. Those of you who don't know how to use image editing software, luckily there is a page on the internet which is called remove.bg. That's simple and allows us to remove pictures backgrounds. So I'm going to bring this picture here. I'm going to drop it. And once I dropped it, you see that the page automatically removed the background of the picture. And we can see that because there is this gray and white squares pattern, which means that the image is now transparent. So now we're going to click on download. And the image should have been downloaded to our downloads folder. And as you can see, this picture doesn't have the white background. This one does, this one doesn't. So now we can bring this transparent picture into Artivive, and so it will let us see through this white background, right? So we're going to just replace this image. We can do so by just dragging this image and dropping it here. And now you see that the soccer player is transparent, right? We can also select the file through this button, which will allow us to select it from our computer. So now, so far we can put images, we can make the images transparent, and we can move and rotate and scale the images around, right? So probably if I had this cereal box in my house and I pointed it, I would still want to be able to read the content, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put this picture on one side of the box so that the picture allows me to keep reading the box. And just like that, we can add more images. We can add some images pertaining the healthy status of this cereal, or the fact that it has high protein and it's good for sports. We will be adding a lot more content when we want to finish our AR example. Before that, I'm going to show you how to add video. So video is quite simple also. You must just drag the video and drop it into the layer as we did with our images. And we have this transparency setting. So you will see that I have recorded this video from YouTube and it has a green background, right? So the transparency setting allows me to do exactly what we did with this picture, to erase its background, and so that we can have a video and we can see only the illustrations of the people exercising. So it will get also that nice look that doesn't block the product behind, and it will look just like this soccer player, like a person floating around. So we are going to drag the video here now. One important thing: the video has to be in MP4 format. if you try to upload a .mov video, it won't work. The good thing is that these are interchangeable formats. So if you have a .mov video, you can just change its name. You change the name of the extension to MP4 and it will work. So now that we have our video here in Artivive, um, we will see that it has the green background, right? So what we're going to do first is to use the transparency setting, and it automatically detects the green in the picture and cuts it out. So now this video will play just like that with a transparent background. And you can also select down here on the right play so that you can see a preview of what the video looks like. And we can also put the video somewhere we like. I like to move it a little bit to the right so that we can see the box, right? So, as said, transparency has an automatic setting to detect the background color, but if it doesn't do well, you can select the background color yourself using this tool. So this tool lets you pick a color from the picture, and that color will be replaced with transparency, right? So now I picked the black, so it took out the guy's hair. Do you see that? The hair and the shorts are gone because I picked the wrong color, right? So we're going to need it to select the green color. We can also input our color using the RGB values. So if we know the background color exactly by its RGB values, we can just input that value here. And well, I keep pressing transparency because it's a quick trick to make it recognize your color faster. If you turn it off then on, it will recognize the color you input here right away. And there's also the threshold option. The threshold option allows you to determine how much of that color is going away. What this means is that if I put it a very low threshold, all the picture is going to disappear because the program will consider all the color to be the same. And if I put a very big threshold, only the exact same color will disappear. So keep that in mind if you're working with a background which is not a solid color. So that covers the functionalities of this software, and we learned how to create a work, right? To put the image to be recognized, and then to add images and videos. From here on, you can add as many images as you want. Well, actually, a maximum of 5 extra and a maximum of 2 extra videos. So you get 6 images and 3 videos to work with on your artwork. So now I'm not going to save it. If you click save, then you will be, oh, I can leave this blank images here. So I'm going to click save, and it's going to start adding the artwork. If you have a lot of images or a lot of videos, it will of course take a longer time. And so now you have to proceed to download the Artivive app. So you should be able to download this app just by going to the App Store and checking Artivive. Or you can scan these codes that will take you to the download page. So if you have an iPhone, scan the code on the left, and Android phones, scan the code on the right, and it should take you to the download page. So do that now while we wait for our work to be ready and we are set so that we can start using the app and scan the pictures. So our work is now loaded. and it's being processed. So it will keep processing until it's ready, and then it will display. This will display these other things. So it will tell you how fast is the image recognized, and how much people have seen this, right? So okay, here it says that we have a duplicate image. It's because I have an example previously made with this image. So I'm going to delete this one. I created it, and going to show you the one that we have here. It has more content. So this is it. You will see that there is also a video. That's a video of exercise. So you can select that video, press play to have a preview of how it will look. You can see it's this exercising person, it's transparent. And there are also other images which try to speak about healthy food, the high protein content. And there is this big image on top of all. The idea is that we look at this through that big image. So now, if you scan this picture with your phones, you will see this right here. Okay, so we can see the different heights on which the layers are and all. So you can scan that image from your computer, or you could print it, but I wouldn't recommend it printing in this because we can scan it from the computer. So if you point your app to the screen now, you should be able to see that content up on top of the wild protein granola cereal. You can pause here if you want to scan the image any longer. I'm going to continue to close this augmented reality course. So we learned a way to prototype augmented reality products. So we could apply that to, as we've seen, marketing campaigns for cereal. We could apply that to games. We could apply that to the medical sector. Like you point at some um, organ model and it shows you its pieces. In this case, it works giving information about a project that was built in our lab. So it also has a video that shows some formulas to do with trigonometry, and this hardware we built to teach trigonometry. So you can use augmented reality to put information on top of almost anything. And Artivive only makes it easier by providing a framework in which we can create that content. So this is Ricardo from Exploratec UDD. Thank you for taking this lesson, and I hope that all of you can create great content for your marketing or any other work or just entertainment related jobs. See you around.